Hello, billionaires, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful souls. My name is Vanessa Black, and I'm so happy and grateful that you ran into this video. And we're going to spend the next 30 minutes together, and I'm going to read chapter 9 of Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life by Bob Proctor. This is the last chapter of the book, so I'm super excited. It's been such a phenomenal book with such incredible perspectives, truth that can absolutely change your life. If you missed it, go check out the playlist. This is our personal freedom featured book of the month. And Isabel's currently reading the financial freedom book of the month, which is a psychology of money. So you can go check that out as well. All right. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet and you want to continue to get notified and grow with us as we're developing our minds, our bodies, and our souls daily. Okay. One of the ways that we're doing that is reading incredible books and implementing what we're learning and studying. Okay, that's the key. It's not just reading or listening in, but it's studying this material, implementing it, and taking action on it. So let's dive into chapter 9, making your positive paradigm a habit for life. For life. All right. So in this final chapter, I want to bring everything that we've been talking about together to show how to make these ideas a habitual way of life. Ignorance versus knowledge. There are two paths in life. The first is the path of ignorance. It inevitably leads to worry, doubt, fear, anxiety, depression, and ultimately disease and disintegration. That is the first path. Ignorance is simply not knowing, but knowledge is omnipresent. There is no need for a person to remain in ignorance. Unfortunately, our educational system is doing very little to teach the subjects that we've been talking about. School does not teach you how to take control of your mind. School does not teach you how to respond rather than react. School does not teach you how to stay in a positive frequency or study the laws of the universe. School doesn't teach us anything about paradigms. Since school never taught us those things, you have to seek them out for yourself. There's a lot of information around today on these subjects. Self-help books are on the bestseller list in almost every country today. We've got to start understanding more about ourselves, what's going on around us, and how we either respond or react to it. When ideas come into our mind from other people, we have the ability to accept or reject them. We have the same ability in regard to ideas that we originate ourselves. If we've got a negative idea, it might be right, but that's no reason to dwell on it. There's a negative side to everything. Some people will rather be right than be rich. That's a common saying, and it's true. We can start from ignorance, doubt, and worry on the conscious level. Then a subconscious level, the doubt and worry turn to fear. The energy of fear expressed within and through the body sets up a vibration known as anxiety. The anxiety is generally suppressed. The suppression turns to depression. The depression turns to disease, and the disease to disintegration. The polar opposite of ignorance is knowledge. That's the positive path. The knowledge is here, and the only way to get to it is study. But you have to know what to study. The libraries are full of knowledge, but knowledge in itself is not power. If it were, all the librarians would be multimillionaires. Most of them have nothing. They're broke. The knowledge has to be organized and intelligently directed. For the past 50 years, with the Proctor Galler Institute, I've been organizing and intelligently directing this knowledge. Understanding and Study, page 129. You have the book. The opposite of doubt and worry on the positive frequency is understanding. We want to understand the laws of our being. We want to understand ourselves. We also want to understand there's a power flowing into our consciousness that is without form, and we're going to give it form. The only way to develop understanding is through study. You've got to study the mind and the laws of the universe. When people start studying what we put together, they'll make great headway. They'll understand that they have to hold an image of what they want. When they internalize it, they develop an emotion called faith, which is a polar opposite of fear. It's a strange thing. With both faith and fear, you're believing in something that you can't see. If you've got a choice, it makes sense to choose faith. Faith is the ability to see the invisible, to believe in the incredible, and that will permit us to receive what the masses call impossible. You see the invisible, you see it in your conscious mind with your imagination. You believe in the incredible. If you take what you see in your imagination and internalize it, turn it over to your subjective mind, which operating by law will immediately begin to move into form. That's believing in the unbelievable. That has to manifest through the body. We grow from the knowledge to understanding to faith. The faith expresses itself in the physical level as well-being. The faith expresses itself in the physical level as well-being, which is the polar opposite of anxiety. Expression turns into acceleration. You're building up speed because you're at ease. That turns into creation. The polar opposite turns into integration. Your habits can lead you in either of these two directions, toward reinforcing the negative or reinforcing the positive. A habit is an idea that's fixed in the subconscious mind. One paradigm says, don't study. The other part says, study. You set up your habits and you determine whether you're going to develop good habits. The habit of repetition. When I was young, I was never in the habit of studying. I never studied anything, either in school or when I got out of school. However, after I first heard Earl Nightingale's recordings, I couldn't stop listening to them. Through the repetition of listening to the same thing over and over again, I formed the positive habit of studying. That habit changed my paradigm and changed everything about where I was going and what I was doing. Anyone can do that. If you keep studying this material, good things are going to keep happening. We're in an age of instant gratification, instant everything, but this process, it doesn't take place in an instant. It can, all things are possible, but that's rare. Developing this positive habit of study goes against another part of our paradigm, whereby you read a book, then go on to something different. That's not the way it is here. You get the book, read it, and read it again and again. I have all the original records of Earl Nightingale made, and I listen to them frequently. It's a habit, and that habit has changed my life. I earn millions of dollars today when I used to have difficulty earning thousands. I have work to do all over the world today when I had difficult finding a job. The habit of studying the right material will change your paradigm. I've watched people that were castaways in life become useful citizens because the results in life are an expression of the paradigm. The paradigm causes the action, and the action sets up a reaction. As the action and reaction come together, they alter our condition, circumstances, and environment. That's the way it works. So what do you really want? That's the question. If we are committed to staying on this pathway of knowledge and to start to produce amazing results in our lives, it's critical to start at the basic level with the question, what is it that you really want? That's the question. Write it down, take a moment, let us know in the comments if you want. What do you really want? The problem with many people is that they don't believe that they can have what they want. As little kids, we run up to our parents saying, Mommy, Daddy, I want, I want, I want. We want everything under the sun. They'll say, you can't have everything you want. Or, how are you going to get that? No child can answer that question. When they get older, you can't have everything you want stays a part of the paradigm. When we grasp that we can have anything we want, we do not have to know how to get it. We only have to know that we will get it. Key. The second you see something in your mind, what you want to realize is where you're going. You've taken your imagination and you've raised your level of consciousness to a much higher frequency. Now you may only stay there for moments and then go back to where you are. If you get there, stay there for a few minutes. Massage that concept, play with it, roll it around in your mind. Paint it differently, put yourself in it, see it happening, experience it how it will feel, and say, I can do it. I don't know how, but I can. An Oscar, an Emmy, and a Tony. If a person comes to me and says, this is what I want, I can show them how to get it. There was a movie producer in Los Angeles named Phil Goldfine. Phil was talking to another man, Ed Morrissey, and he asked Ed, did you read this book, Born Rich? Yeah, I know the author, Phil said. You don't know him. I know him. This is an incredible book. Ed just laughed and said, okay, I'll phone him. So he phoned me. He said, Bob, there's a guy here who wants to talk to you. Phil got on the phone and said, God, I'd love to sit down and talk to you. Where are you now? I'm in Las Vegas. I'm in Los Angeles, and I can come and see you. Yeah, if you want. He came to see me. I sat down and asked, what do you really want? Millions of dollars. What are you earning now? A couple 100,000. What do you do? I'm a movie producer. What else do you want? He said, I want to win an Oscar. I want to win an Emmy. I said, I can show you how to do all those things, but you've got to do exactly what I tell you. He said, I will. That was around 22 or 23 years ago. Only 26 people have won an Oscar and an Emmy and a Tony. Phil phoned me in 2019 and said, I'm going to opening night of Tootsie. You want to come to New York? Yes. I flew down to New York and I met him. He won his Tony for his musical Tootsie. He was the 27th person to win an Oscar, an Emmy, and a Tony. He's also won gold medals in swimming. He has swum with gold medal Olympians. Whereas the average producer might do 2 movies in 3 years, I think Phil is working on 24 this year. He'll tell you that he does exactly what I tell him. I said, I don't care if you believe it or not. I want you to keep telling yourself that this is what happens. One day, Phil sent me a picture of himself holding his Oscar, and he said, I'm going to win another one. That's not the right picture, I said. Hold the Oscar in one hand, get a picture taken, then hold the Oscar in another hand and get another picture taken. Then have somebody use Photoshop to make it one picture. Hours later, I had a picture back from him with him holding an Oscar in both hands. Phil earns millions of dollars today. He's told me he earned up to $1 million in 4 hours. He does exactly what I tell him. I don't tell him what time to eat or what time to go to bed, but I've said, when you sit down and think of what you want, you let your imagination go. If you can see it, write it down. Don't talk to anybody else but me about it, because everybody else will laugh at you, and you don't need that happening. Don't mix with people who haven't got big goals. Key. Don't mix with people who want to talk about the news or rough times. Phil's an excellent example. My partner, Sandy Gallagher, is another one. You've got to start believing in things that are far out of your reach. If you can see it, it's there. Nothing is created or destroyed. Everything you require is already here. It's a matter of getting in harmony with it. When you're in harmony with it, you'll attract it. The law of attraction is very clear. The only thing you can attract to you is that which is in harmony with you. If you're holding an image of poverty, you're never going to attract prosperity. Strong. You've got to see yourself as prosperous. You've got to see yourself with the good you desire. The first thing you have to do is recognize what it is. That's where you sit down and let your mind take off. You put your imagination to work. Phil says imagination is the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivable, powerful force the world has ever known. He's right. It's the mental tool that takes us to other time zones, to other places, to outer space, to a higher frequency. The imagination will take you anywhere. This isn't something to laugh at, it's something to be in awe of. 8 principles for living. Let me conclude this book by listing the 8 principles for living the life you want to live, which I share in my seminars. 1, develop an awareness of your infinite potential. Right, it's a good time to write down if you haven't yet. That is the beginning of greater good in any aspect of your life. Let there be light. It's sad to see a child who's afraid of the dark. I've always felt that it's much worse to see an adult that's afraid of the light. Let there be light. Let there be a higher degree of conscious awareness. As you become more aware, you'll begin to improve the quality of your life because it's already here. You just have to become aware of its presence. Number 2, act on what you want. Our wants come from the essence of who we are. Our spiritual DNA is perfect. It's in our heart, the heart of hearts. It's in universal intelligence. You're created in God's image. There's perfection within you, and that perfection is seeking expression within and through you. It is always for expression, expansion, and greater good. Its expression comes to your consciousness as wanting. I want this. You will go out of your way for what you want. You will do things that are abnormal to get what you want. You run when you're weary. You will study when you're tired. Our wants come from the essence of who we are. It's God's or Spirit's way of saying, let me work through you to create greater good. Wanting is not getting. Getting is a side benefit of wanting. Wanting is growing. Number 3, make a decision. Everything you're getting because you programmed to get it. You're in harmony with it. You're not in harmony with what you want. That's why you haven't gotten it. When you go after what you want, you've got to change the paradigm. You've often heard the saying, old habits die hard. The paradigm does not want to change. It wants to keep expressing itself over and over again the same way. When you start to go after what you want, the paradigm is going to put up one hell of a fight. You will be very uncomfortable. Everything in you will want to quit. If you don't really understand what you're doing, you will probably quit. If you do understand, the odds are pretty good that you'll keep going. Probably less than 10% of people are really going after big goals. Most people don't because they don't really understand that they can have it. A beautiful song sung by Nat King Cole years ago says, pretend you're happy when you're blue. Get the lyrics for that song, read them, study them, memorize them. 4, total commitment. Commitment separates the professional from the amateur. I believe it was motivational speaker Ken Blanchard who said that when you're interested in something, you'll do it if it's convenient. When you're committed, you'll do it regardless. What you're going after has got to be a committed decision. There's no going back and there's no quitting. It must happen. Understanding the laws makes it much easier, much more of a pleasant trip. 5, accountability. Earl Nightingale called this your success insurance policy. When you have an accountability partner, you're setting up an insurance policy that you're going to keep going. If you're my accountability partner and I really respect you, I want you to really respect me. If I tell you I'm going to do something and ask you to hold me accountable for it, when the thought of quitting comes to my mind, I'm instantly going to think, what are you going to think of me for doing that? Your accountability partner keeps your nose to the grindstone. This person will get you going when everything wants you to quit. Accountability partners are invaluable. Sandy Gallagher is mine. My son Brian and his associate Peggy are accountability partners. They help each other to an enormous end just because they are accountable to each other. An accountability partner is worth their weight in gold to you. Pick them wisely and then be accountable to them. Number 6, focus. This adds energy and increases the amplitude of vibration. It also directs and increases your personal power. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. If you don't feel good, you're in a bad vibration. When you feel good, that indicates you're in a good vibration. If you're in a shopping mall and somebody behind you is staring at you, you'll feel it. They're focused on you. They're concentrating on you. They're taking the energy flowing into their consciousness and directing it at you like a laser. Their thoughts hit your brain and set up a vibration. You feel that energy. You feel them staring at you. You turn around and sure enough, they are. Concentration increases amplitude of vibration. It takes the energy and speeds up its projection, giving the energy a laser-like focus. That's why focus is so important. Focus is an act of will. You can develop your will by taking a candle in a holder and putting it opposite your favorite chair. When you're alone, light the candle, sit and stare at the flame, and keep staring at the flame until you become one with the flame. If your mind wanders, which it will, bring it back to the flame. Every time it wanders, bring it back. Don't feel bad, just bring it back. You could also put a dot on the wall in front of you of your favorite in the wall in front of your favorite chair and stare at that dot. When your mind wanders, bring it back to that dot. When you can concentrate on one thing, you can concentrate on anything because you've strengthened your will. Okay. This will is a mental faculty that enables you to hold one idea on the screen of your mind. As Emerson said, the only thing that can grow is the thing you give energy to. When you're focused, you're giving more energy to the thing that you want. Number 7, discipline. I suggest that you commit to reading this book every morning for 30 minutes for 60 days. I also recommend involving a partner in this project. Find a friend. If they don't have a copy of this book, buy one and give it to them. Write a little note in it. They will love you for it. Then say, I would like to study this book with you every day for 30 minutes. Make me accountable and I'll hold you accountable. At the end of the 30 minutes, we'll check in and discuss what we've learned. If you will commit to doing that, the benefits you've read about in this book will all come to you because you'll deserve them. You'll have earned them. Number 8, visioneering. Visioneering is exercising the imagination to go through the achievement of what you're seeking. It brings order to the mind and attracts you to things you need in an orderly way. The average person's mind is a helter-skelter of ideas flipping all over the place. When a person is visioneering, they're bringing one thought onto the screen of their mind and they're focused on it. They're beginning to live it. They brought order to their mind. Trod said that order is heaven's first law. It's a heavenly thing to visualize. It's a marvelous thing to do. You'll get very good at it. You'll definitely improve your income, your health, and your relationships. Implementing the ideas in this book is a matter of making a firm commitment, picking an accountability partner, and starting right away. Start today, not tomorrow. Start right now. Commit the second you read these words. If you're going to give 30 minutes a day, start right now. If you've just spent 30 minutes, spend another 30. Then tomorrow morning, do it again. Go through this regimen for 60 or 90 days. Earl Nightingale used to say that if you do something for 90 days, you'll probably do it for the rest of your life. I'm inclined to agree with him because you turn it into a habit. Study. The rewards you will gain from it are astronomical. They're far beyond what you could ever hope for. And that concludes this amazing book. Amazing book. An incredible book to study. So true, so powerful. The information is to be studied. Laws are to be studied. So important, the repetition. I remember he mentions his first book was Think and Grow Rich. Mine was The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz and The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Those two was like study, and then go deep into the authors. Go deep and practice and implement and you're going to get so good at it. You're going to master it. And then Bob Proctor came into my life. And it was something I was studying. I was fascinated with as well. The laws, 11 Forgotten Laws. He has YouTube on YouTube. If you type in Bob Proctor, 11 Forgotten Laws, you'll see short video clips. We've done in one of our Facebook groups, we studied 11 different laws, those same laws, and we broke each law down. If you are interested in this incredible content, let me know in the comments. 11 laws, and I can see what I can do for you. Definitely, they're super powerful, not just to read one time or listen into, but over and over and over and over again. So that concludes this amazing book, y'all. Next book, we have 2 more books that we're going to dive into for this particular year. One is Daring Greatly. Okay, Daring Greatly, I believe by Brene Brown. And then we also have Oprah Winfrey, What I Know for Sure. So I hope you continue to join us. If not, keep listening to this one. Get this book. You can implement 60, 90 days, 30 minutes a day. We really just take 30 minutes a day. We all have 30 minutes. We all can find 30 minutes. So there's no excuses. All right. Appreciate you. Love you. I'm so excited for you. And I'm so happy and grateful that you will be joining us in the next book. All right. See you soon. Take care.